In this video, I'll be reviewing your Pokemon, and more specifically, this is a submission from Jassy, who has posted in the YouTube My Mon text channel, and the nirtheart Discord is right here under Pokemon Sleep. And for the month of September, if you become a YouTube member by locating the join button, I will make a video featuring 3 of your Pokemon. Now, the queue is starting to queue up, but I'm trying to record these as fast as I can and try to bring you some quality analysis on your Pokemon. So let's just hop right into it. The Golduck that Jassy has posted here is maybe the best Golduck I've ever seen. It's absolutely crazy. Like, I cannot emphasize it. And on top, it's shiny. So I just, this is incomprehensible. This is just like, what? Watch this. So you already saw in the thumbnail, this is a shiny Golduck. So keep that in mind. It's a shiny. It's got the careful nature. Right off the bat, just the best. It cannot be better than ingredient finding, because main skill chance up, huge on a skill specialist. Ingredient finding down is actually pretty good, because this Golduck in particular has the ABC ingredient list, which is the worst ingredient list to an extent because it will clog up your inventory faster. 16% as a base rate is very low, so that is great. But it gets lower because of that nature. So ingredient list here doesn't make a big difference because of that ingredient list. Now, if you were to like just paint this even better, maybe the Mono Cacao, because it has the lowest volumes and the highest value drops. But aside from that, like, I don't understand this Pokemon. Like, it looks edited. Watch this. It's got skill trigger S and it's got skill trigger M. There is nothing else you want on this Pokemon except the helping speed M. That comes at level 75, and 75 is not that far off anymore. Like, for me, I used to discount the sub skills at level 75, but when you find Pokemon like this, you just have to consider it. It's also got Inventory S, which is huge. This can be sub skill seeded to Inventory L. Now, you would never really sleep with Golduck, I think, and it can only evolve once. So max potential inventory would be 37, and that is far enough. And then at level 100, if you ever get there, there's also a skill level up S that can be sub-skill seeded, although we're going to neutralize this one. We're going to put this one down to Inventory S, because here begins the discussion. I already covered Golduck extensively in my other video. I don't have the spreadsheet readily available, I think. Let's see. I do. That's amazing, because last time I showed off the spreadsheet, I had some issues with my sound, and I thank Sarah for pointing this out to me. I fixed it now. And so here is the other scenario that I drew up as a hopes and dreams scenario. Like, this is hilarious right here. This was my hopes and dreams scenario for the best possible thinkable Golduck, and here it is. Jassy's Golduck. It is insane. Look at this. It's basically the same. We have skill trigger M and S. We go back here and we see skill trigger. Well, in the other order, we have inventory S and helping speed M. Inventory S, helping speed M. And we have the main skill chance up nature. Actually, in fact, the ingredients down nature is better. So this Golduck that Jassy has is better than my best case scenario. How is that possible? So the discussion here now is this table right here. I don't know if you can see this properly. I'm gonna zoom in as best as I can. And yes, I am Norwegian, so these puppets are weird. But just look at this. If you want to run Golduck the most optimal, I would say you would want to aim for roughly 1 production collection in 1.5 hours. So once in 1.5 hours, you want to open your game and click to collect. Otherwise, maybe if you're a bit more of a casual, maybe you can stretch it to once every 2 hours. That makes sense too. And for the most part, you would want to use Golduck during the daytime. So let's say you wake up at 8, you go to bed at 10, then that would be 14 hours. You need to check your game on average. Well, not just average, but once every 2 hours. So 7, 8 times a day. That's still a whole lot. So yeah, you would want to go down here. The big factor for Golduck is going to be how often you can collect and how many main skill seeds you got. This Golduck is so pristine, I would almost argue that you would want to invest in it even as a free-to-play, just because everything here aligns, just it works. Though you want to have a healer first, then potentially a legendary overstacking helping or helper boost Pokemon, and this would come right at the 3rd spot for investing in a skill specialist, in my opinion. Now, if you're got the premium, this is a good Pokemon to bookmark. I see on the screenshot that it is main skill level 2 and level 30. And did I mention this is a shiny Golduck? How is this real? I don't understand. The odds of this is astronomical. If Pokemon Sleep had not been server side, like, if you'd shown me this in a main series game, I'll look twice on it, but wow. I think the things you have to consider is, do you have seeds? Have you covered a healer? Have you covered a helper boost Pokemon? After that, I would go all in. This is ridiculous. So congratulations. I never seen a better shiny, I think. This at least would be in the leaderboard. Maybe we need to make a leaderboard in Nirtheart and just post the most pristine, jealousy invoking Pokemon. This would be in top 3 easily. So at that point in time, I think it's time to move on to the next Pokemon, which is Magnezone. I haven't finalized my buttons, so bear with me. We have to clear out the sheet here. Yeah, and I also wanted the Golduck here and the example to level 50. In reality, it was 30, so just keep that in mind. And then it seems like I would assume that this Magnezone has been evolved twice because it is main skill level 6. It's got skill trigger S, it's got helping speed S, and unfortunately it's got helping speed M at level 100. So that's a bit of a problem in terms of spending the main skill seeds on it, or not, I mean sub skill seeds on it to, you know, boost it earlier. It's got skill level up S. I know I'm filling this in a little bit funnily in the order, but we are getting to the skill trigger M, and it has also careful nature. So this is a Pokemon that exists out there. Overall, Magnezone may be the best cooking power-up Pokemon there is. And so, at least for now, in terms of the speed and the skill rate and the fact that it evolves 2 times compared to 1 with a Glaceon, you save a whole main skill seed, huge. You have the perfect trinity here. You have careful nature, skill trigger M, and skill trigger S. And then in addition, you have a free main skill seed coming out at level 75 times 2, because you can sub-skill seed it. And you have speed and helping speed M. This is just a whole victory lap in this video so far. This Magnezone is crazy. And I see actually the area limit is 18. That makes me think this only evolved once. And that doesn't matter too much. It does mean though that there was an extra main skill seed spent here, but skill level up S is coming up at some point in the future. And so with these pristine sub skills, you have skill trigger S, skill trigger M, careful nature, huge. You can see the overall skill rate is 11.5%. And with the careful nature as well, the ingredient rate is only 14%. So you won't be clogging up your inventory at all with the ingredients, although oil and herb in very low quantities wouldn't really matter all that much too much. Anyway, so that is a really nice Magneton. Pretty good. Let's hop to the last Pokemon that Jassy has submitted, which is a Slaking. I have a little bit of a conflicted view on Slaking. It's just trying to do, what am I saying? We are talking about Slaking. They have way similar names, my bad. We're talking about Slaking, and it is level 43. I would assume this has been evolved twice. Yeah, that kind of checks out, I think. If we put in 1,000 hours here, what are we looking at? Way too much. 500? Yeah, it's got 25 in its inventory. It's got the gentle nature, one of the best natures for the skill specialists. And I'm not going to make a messy here with the skills like I did Golduck. So just right off the bat, no sub-skills. This Slaking has 8% on its skill rate. That is ridiculous. One big change that happened recently that affected Slaking indirectly in a negative way is that skill specialists can bank up to 2 skills. That's not the case for berry specialists. Maybe that will change in the future. I have a ready-to-use Slaking if that is the case. Otherwise, probably not. And so, usually, in the past, you would compare Slaking to Vaporeon. But now, Vaporeon is just miles ahead because you can bank those triggers. And Slaking is a berry specialist with a very high skill rate, but it is very awkward. And so, with this type of ingredient rate, you would expect that it would get some sort of value here. Tomatoes, honey and apple, very strange ingredients, very low value ingredients, very low volumes. So this ingredient rate here is just to balance out the Pokemon overall, and it really, really hurts the berry value because you would want ingredients down nature here, but that's hard to find when you also want to emphasize and upgrade and influence the main skill rate, which is a big sell on this Pokemon. So we can spoil here. The first sub-skill is berry finding, and at that point, it's a berry specialist with berry finding, with a above neutral nature. Pretty solid. It's also got the helping speed M, and at that point, I'm almost wondering if this should have been evolved to the Vigoroth instead. We can briefly have a look at Vigoroth. The pre-evolution is faster, it has a better ingredient rate for berry specialists, and that makes it a berry Pokemon that is better than the berry Pokemon Slaking, which is its evolution. Now, here's what's interesting. It's got skill trigger S, and it's got skill trigger M. The level 75 here is ways away. And unfortunately, at level 100, it's got ingredient finding M, which is gonna hurt. Look at that. 40% on the ingredient rate. That's ridiculous. So just never get to level 100. Cap it at level 99, if anything. And just rest it there. So at level 75, this Slaking is gonna have a 12.5% skill rate, which is ridiculous. It is already main skill level 7, so you must be a premium player. Man, that Golduck is going to be huge for you. Because that's a lot of main skill seeds. You used, what's that, 4 on the Magnezone, and I would assume 4 here too. You need to invest in that Golduck. That's my summary here. But yeah, berry finding, huge on a berry specialist. It is slow, but overall you got the speed, you got the skill chances, and overall, this is a pretty solid Pokemon. I'm not a huge fan of Slaking personally, although I happen to find a pristine skill-related traits on a Slakoth, but maybe I'm too negative on it, but overall, this is probably a Pokemon that serves you very well. It is at level 43 currently, so once you get it to level 50, that's going to be huge for you. 75 is ways away, but it's still almost 10%. So basically, every time you collect and the inventory has not gotten full too fast, you have another skill trigger in there. So pretty good stuff here, Jassy. Pretty happy for you here with these finds, and let me know what you're gonna do with that Golduck. Shiny. Perfect sub skills. Perfect sub skills. Good nature. What else would you like? It's also a good Pokemon. Like Golduck, easily A tier, potentially S tier, maybe S tier. It just depends on use and if you're premium. But oh man, Some good stuff here. Hope you enjoyed this breakdown, Jassy, and for everyone else watching, you can leave a thumbs up on this video if you want to see more content coming your way like this. Thank you for watching.